Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at something really fundamental to global commerce, the air freight forwarding market.
Hmm.
Now, this isn't just, planes flying stuff around. It's this whole complex network.
A really sophisticated system.
Exactly. Connects businesses, connects consumers all over the world, gets critical goods where they need to go, and fast.
Yeah, it's vital.
And we're digging into the latest data, the forecasts,
Hmm.
all coming from cognitive market research. So our goal today, give you a clear picture of this market's growth, what's really driving it.
And why it matters.
Right. And just to give you a sense of the scale here, this market pulled in over $128 billion back in 2021.
Wow.
And it's projected to fly past $230 billion by 2033. That's growing at a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 5%.
That's pretty significant growth.
It really is.
Hmm.
Okay, let's unpack this vital sector.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here is how these, well, seemingly abstract numbers, these billions of dollars, they directly shape our daily lives. They
Yeah.
influence everything, from whether you can get the latest phone on release day
Right.
to how quickly vital medical supplies reach hospitals. And just so we're clear, when we talk air freight forwarding, we mean those crucial middlemen, basically.
The logistics experts.
Exactly. The ones organizing everything, managing the air transport for businesses. They're like the architects behind this invisible network, making it work efficiently, especially for those, high-value items or things that are super time-sensitive. Perishables, too.
Stuff that needs the express lane.
Precisely. So understanding where this market is heading, it really gives us a pulse on the whole global economy.
That's a great way to put it. A pulse on the economy. So let's feel that pulse region by region, starting maybe with North America.
Mhm.
Okay, North America. Definitely seeing some robust expansion here. The whole region looks set to nearly double by 2033.
Mm-hmm. Strong numbers.
The United States, no surprise, is still the big anchor, dominant player.
As you'd expect.
But, and here's where it gets kind of interesting, you see these different growth stories within North America. Like Canada, it's actually accelerating much faster. We're talking a KGR near 7%,
Wow, 7%. That's well above the average for the region.
significantly higher.
Yeah.
But then you look at Mexico, and its expansion is, well, more moderate, slower pace.
That jump in Canada really does stand out, doesn't it? You start wondering, what's behind that? Could be specific trade policies, maybe,
Or e-commerce.
or maybe a surge in cross-border e-commerce fulfillment, yeah.
Right.
Or even new manufacturing hubs popping up. Something makes it a bit of an outlier.
Definitely want to watch.
It really shows how those regional economic details play out in this specific sector.
Indeed. Okay, let's shift over to Europe. Europe, we see a more mature market, obviously, but it's adapting, still showing strong growth.
Mm-hmm. Holding steady.
Yeah, the forecast takes it from nearly $38 billion in 2021 up to over $64 billion by 2033. Germany, France, the UK, they're still the largest contributors, which makes sense given their industrial base and trade history.
The traditional powerhouses.
Right. But what's also notable is you've got strong growth rates, like above 5%, coming from places like Italy, Russia, and Spain.
Interesting. Suggests maybe an increasing reliance on air cargo there.
Could be, or maybe catching up in certain sectors. But, okay, if we're talking about sheer standout performance, we have to talk Asia Pacific.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This region boasts one of the highest KGRs globally. It's pushing its market size from, was it $28.6 billion in 21
Mm-hmm.
to a massive $56.5 billion projected by 2033.
Doubling, essentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And China, as you'd guess, is the dominant force there.
Of course.
But what really jumps out from the data is India. Exceptionally strong growth, projected at a remarkable 7.6% CAGR.
7.6, that's huge.
It really signifies a massive surge in demand for air freight over there. It's becoming a key engine for global expansion in this sector.
Absolutely.
And of course, you've got significant contributions still coming from Japan, South Korea, Australia too.
And if you connect that back to the bigger picture, Asia Pacific's rapid growth, it just underscores its increasing role, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
the global manufacturing hub, yes, but also a massive growing consumption center.
Right, both sides of the equation.
Exactly. So that creates this immense demand for efficient air cargo, both for getting finished goods out and for bringing raw materials and high-value consumer products in to meet that growing middle-class demand.
Makes total sense. And look, the growth isn't just in the traditional giants. South America is showing a very healthy growth rate too.
Yeah.
Its market size is also expected to basically double by 2033.
Another strong performer.
Yeah. Brazil leads the way there, as you might expect. But interestingly, Argentina and Colombia, They're showing almost identical high scenarios, both around 6.6%,
Wow, neck and neck.
pretty much.
Hmm.
It indicates this sort of broad shared momentum across the continent, really reinforces South America's rising importance in global trade logistics.
Good point.
Then you've got the Middle East, another promising region. Strong growth projected, again, nearly doubling its market value by 2033.
Seeing a pattern here.
Definitely. We're seeing really robust trends in Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the UAE. Actually, the UAE is leading the charge there with an impressive 6.86% CAGR.
The UAE has been positioning itself as a logistics hub for a while now.
Seems to be paying off. And you see consistent performance across the rest of the region, too. Strategic positioning seems key. And finally, Africa. Its market is also expanding notably, growing steadily from just over $5 billion in 2021 to nearly $9 billion by 2033. Nigeria looks set to lead the continent in market size by then, and South Africa is showing above-average growth as well.
Reflecting development, I suppose. Better trade routes, more economic integration.
That seems to be the story, yeah.
Yeah.
Developing rents, increasing integration.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've crunched the numbers region by region, and the overarching trend, it's undeniably clear. Impressive upward trajectory across all major regions for air freight forwarding. But to really get what's going on, we need to move beyond just what's happening.
To the why.
Exactly. What are the powerful forces driving all this growth? What are those fundamental shifts?
That really is the core question, isn't it? And it's not just one thing. It's this powerful combination, a confluence of global economic forces, really. They're quite literally moving goods faster and farther than ever before.
Okay.
The source material points to several key drivers, and it's worth kind of breaking them down. First, just basic, sustained economic growth. More activity across different regions means more goods being made, more being bought.
More stuff needs moving.
Simple as that, yeah.
Yeah.
Increases demand for efficient transport. Then you have the just explosive expansion of e-commerce.
Huge factor.
Massive. Think about it. You order something online, maybe from overseas, and you want it fast. Your new phone, an urgent part for something.
Right, that quick delivery expectation.
Exactly. That's often air freight making that happen. E-commerce demands speed, reliability, global reach. Air cargo is perfectly positioned for that, especially for, those high-value items or things people need urgently.
So it's not just more stuff needing transport, but faster stuff, driven by how we all shop now.
Precisely. And that connects directly to the next point, the globalization of supply chains. Businesses are sourcing parts from here, assembling there, selling everywhere. It creates these incredibly complex, interconnected webs, and they often rely heavily on air freight for that just-in-time delivery or to manage inventory efficiently across vast distances.
Keeping things lean.
Right. Then you also see rising investments in logistics infrastructure, things like new cargo terminals at airports, advanced warehousing. That all makes air freight operations smoother, more efficient, able to handle bigger volumes.
Building the capacity.
Yeah. And finally, there's the digital transformation that's happening within the industry itself. Better tracking systems, AI helping to optimize routes, automating processes. It just makes the whole thing more streamlined and reliable for customers.
So all these factors are pushing in the same direction.
Exactly. Together, they create this powerful tailwind for air freight. It makes it, well, pretty indispensable for modern global trade.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, our listener? Well, basically it means the world's goods are moving more efficiently and with incredible speed, often flying right over our heads without us even thinking about it.
That invisible network again.
Yeah. It's this foundational, really dynamic sector that underpins so much of the modern economy. It quietly enables this rapid exchange of, well, everything from your new smartphone to life-saving medicines.
It's quite something.
It really is. A testament to, I guess, human ingenuity in connecting markets and meeting global demand.
And as this air freight market keeps climbing, keeps connecting more corners of the globe faster and faster, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? How might this increased connectivity and speed reshape not just global commerce, but maybe even our daily expectations? What we expect to have available right at our fingertips almost instantly. It could further blur those lines between what feels local and what's truly global. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get you the insights that, really help you understand what's going on. Today, we're diving into a world that's often unseen but absolutely critical, the global air freight forwarding market. Our mission, really, for you is to unpack the hidden dynamics, those powerful driving forces, and, Yeah, even the surprising challenges and future trends shaping how goods move around the globe, sometimes at, frankly, incredible speeds. And we're basing this whole chat on a pretty solid source from cognitive market research. Think of it as your shortcut to getting up to speed.
Yeah, it's one of those sectors, isn't it? Most people probably don't think twice about it. But air freight forwarding, it's like the silent engine
Yeah.
connecting businesses, consumers all over the world. I mean, just think about it for a second. Everything from tiny, delicate microchips to, urgent, life-saving medicines. The sheer complexity, the sort of ingenuity needed to get those things from, say, a factory floor in Asia to a warehouse in Europe, often in just hours. It's like a logistical ballet, really.
A logistical ballet. I like that. That captures it perfectly. So, okay, how did this industry reach this massive scale and importance? What's really fueling this rapid growth, according to the research we're looking at?
Well, probably the most obvious one, and it's had a huge impact, is just the explosion of global e-commerce.
Right.
But it's not just more packages. The interesting insight here is how it's changed the kind of stuff being flown. We're seeing less huge bulk shipments and way more frequent smaller parcels, and that creates its own set of challenges operationally. Retailers are under, well, immense pressure for super fast cross-border delivery, so air freight becomes absolutely essential for those high-value, time-sensitive packages. It's really become a critical, though often invisible, part of the whole e-commerce machine.
Right, so it's not just me getting my new headphones faster. For a business, it could mean getting a vital component, like right now, to avoid shutting down a production line. What kind of pressure does that inject into the whole logistics chain?
Oh, enormous pressure. Everything hinges on precision and speed, and that feeds right into the second big driver, the increasing trade in high value and perishable goods. Air freight just offers speed and, crucially, temperature control that you simply can't get reliably from sea or land transport. Think about pharmaceuticals, vaccines, biologics, or the tech sector with semiconductors, even like premium fresh foods that are in demand globally. These aren't just boxes. They're sensitive, often fragile, and incredibly time-critical. So this need for secure, refrigerated, fast transport, it's actually carving out some very profitable niche markets for forwarders who can really specialize.
And that reliance creates a unique situation, doesn't it? I mean, if a small delay could mean spoiled goods or something becoming obsolete or just massive financial loss, then paying the premium for air freight suddenly makes a whole lot of sense.
Exactly right. And the third driver kind of pulls all this together. It's the increasing globalization of supply chains and trade agreements. Businesses are sourcing materials, manufacturing, assembling things across multiple countries, multiple continents. So the need for really smooth end-to-end international logistics, it's just non-negotiable now. Air freight forwarders, they basically become the navigators in this incredibly complex global web. They bring that critical expertise in customs, they handle all the complicated trade paperwork, and they coordinate the different transport modes seamlessly to make the whole system work.
Okay, so there are these essential navigators guiding goods through this increasingly tricky global trade landscape. But even the best navigators hit rough weather sometimes. What are the big turbulence points, the major constraints this market is facing, according to our source?
Well, one of the biggest, most persistent issues is just the inherently high cost of operations, and specifically the notorious volatility in aviation fuel prices. Air freight is just way more expensive than shipping by sea or truck. And when fuel prices swing wildly, which they do, it hits the bottom line hard for the forwarders and their clients. It's not just annoying, it makes long-term cost planning incredibly difficult, puts huge pressure on logistics budgets.
Right, that fuel volatility must be a nightmare for planning ahead. Are people seriously looking at alternative fuels or, I don't know, radically new aircraft designs just for cost, or is that still too far off?
It's definitely starting, but maybe still early days, to be a major factor right now. Though it links into sustainability, which we can touch on later, another really critical constraint is capacity bottlenecks and just plane congestion at major airports. Cargo space on planes can be tight, especially during peak seasons, like holidays. And a lot of airports, especially the big global hubs, they just don't have the infrastructure, the terminals, the ground handling to cope efficiently with rising volumes.
Yeah.
So you get slot limitations, delays, cargo sitting around. It really slows down the turnaround.
Oh, I can absolutely see the ripple effect there. One delay at a major hub could mess up an entire supply chain, right? Impacting production, final delivery times, everything.
Absolutely, it cascades. And then there's the sheer complexity of regulations and the compliance burden. Moving goods internationally means navigating this maze of constantly changing customs rules, aviation safety standards, security guidelines. It's intense, and this isn't just paperwork. It's actually a huge barrier to entry for smaller players. It means the bigger forwarders, the ones who can afford dedicated compliance teams, they get an advantage. They have to constantly adapt to shifts in trade law, especially for anything sensitive, dangerous, or restricted. It's a massive operational overhead that people often overlook.
That point about the barrier to entry is really interesting. So it's not just a challenge, it actively shapes who can compete effectively. Okay, so given these pretty complex challenges, how is the air freight forwarding market adapting? What's changing? What does the future look like according to the trends identified?
Well, a huge, really transformative trend is digitalization. People are calling it freight tech. And this isn't just about having a website. It's about using advanced digital tools to get a real edge. Think about AI, artificial intelligence, being used for route optimization, finding the absolute fastest, most efficient path in real time. Or real-time cargo visibility, so clients know exactly where their shipment is, second by second. Automated document management that cuts down massively on errors and delays with paperwork. And booking APIs.
APIs, like the things that let different computer systems talk to each other.
Exactly. Digital connectors that make transactions seamless, faster. All of this, it's aimed squarely at making customers happier, improving accuracy, and, crucially, cutting those operational costs we talked about.
Yeah, that real-time visibility alone must be a total game changer for businesses managing inventory. Just being able to react quickly if there's a hiccup or know precisely when something will arrive, that's got to be incredibly valuable.
Oh, profoundly valuable, yeah. And another major trend, and this is driven by both, sort of corporate responsibility and what customers are demanding, is a much bigger focus on sustainable solutions. Environmental concerns are just, well, they're everywhere now, aren't they? So forwarders are responding. They're investing in greener practices. You see things like carbon offsetting programs, faster adoption of more fuel-efficient aircraft, even using data to optimize flight paths to cut down emissions. And this isn't just for show, you know? Clients are genuinely starting to choose providers based on their demonstrated commitment to sustainability. It's becoming a factor.
So it's not just speed and price anymore. A company's environmental impact is actually becoming a deciding factor. That's quite an evolution.
It really is. And finally, there's this clear shift towards integrated end-to-end logistics services. Clients increasingly want one point of contact, one provider to handle everything, the whole journey. That means warehousing, customs brokerage, even that tricky last-mile delivery bit, all managed under one roof. So freight forwarders are expanding what they offer, becoming these complete door-to-door solution providers. This is especially appealing for e-commerce, obviously, where that whole click-to-doorstep experience needs to be smooth. And also for things like that temperature-sensitive cargo we mentioned. You need an unbroken cold chain.
It really is quite remarkable, isn't it, how this market, despite all the inherent complexity, the cost pressures, the bottlenecks, it just keeps showing incredible resilience. It's growing not just in size, but through constant innovation, constant adaptation. It really underlines how vital it is to global commerce.
It does. And that resilience, it sort of prompts a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to consider. Given all these intense pressures for speed, for cost efficiency, and for sustainability, how might the role of the individual freight forwarder evolve? You know, that human expert, the navigator. How does that role change in a future that's becoming so heavily digitized, integrated, and environmentally aware? It makes you wonder about that surprising, maybe indispensable human intelligence and adaptability that's still needed, even when the systems around it get incredibly automated.